going on, everybody? Thought I'd do a quick video. I'm gonna add in some other video footage on an inverter that I installed, just the part showing the components I used. Just trying to fix the previous install. Wires coming out of the cables coming out of the battery were fine. Problem was that's about as far as it got. They just drilled a hole in the floor and put them up through the hole. No rubber grommet, nothing covering the hole. So, wanted to get that hole covered up, which I did. And then I used their bulkhead connectors. I bought them from Summit, which you'll see in the clip. It has the that's so you can mount the cables underneath, and you don't have a big hole in the floor. And then the cables attached to the top of those and run to the inverter. It's a 2,000 watt. We bought it to run our microwave, but I did not realize when we bought this particular inverter it's not really designed for that heavy load that a microwave does, when it starts up. So it does not work with the microwave. So if you're going to get an inverter, make sure your pure sine wave, that's what I thought we bought, but as it turns out, it looks like it was a modified sine wave. So if you're going to use a microwave, even a small one, ours is only 700 watt, you want to get a pure sine wave inverter and make sure it's going to work with your microwave. Other than that, right now we're sitting in Illinois. We deliver tomorrow in Michigan. I'll show you our beautiful weather here. But it just didn't start till we actually got here. It's actually been pretty nice all day. Coming up out of Arkansas this morning. But we'll deliver this tomorrow in Michigan. And then we'll pick up another load that goes to Ohio. So yeah, just a little tired. It's been a long day. Got held up yesterday. Was supposed to pick this load up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Was not ready. As of 10:30 last night, it still was not ready. So I went to bed. Got up this morning and put some miles in so we get close to delivery. We're only about 3 hours away from where we got to deliver in the morning, so not a big deal. Was planning on delivering it today, but obviously that didn't happen because of the delay. I did run into a gentleman yesterday, and I do apologize because I'm horrible with names. But I appreciate you watching. If you see this video, you'll know who you are. We were both in Jonesboro. But it was nice meeting you. That was pretty cool. Yeah, but other than that, truck's good. Fixed about 5 air fittings on this truck. Still got a tiny leak somewhere because I'm still losing air, nowhere near what it was. Replaced a fitting on the air dryer, the primary and secondary tank. There's 3 fittings there that got replaced, and then a T-fitting on top of the airbag, driver's side front drive axle. But again, like I said, I still got a small leak somewhere, which I'll get fixed. I also bought the Centromatic wheel balancers. I haven't used them before, but I bought for both drive axles and the steer axles. Hopefully once we deliver this tomorrow, we can get those put on, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, other than that, I mean, we're just doing what we can as we can. Yeah, you know, freight rates are I would say myself, others might want to correct, but rates right now, even here with contract freight, are not where they were. If you do find a good load, one, you probably just got lucky. Two, you better grab it quick, because they're snatching up the good ones fast. There's no playing around now. So yeah, but it is what it is. All we can do is make do with what we got. Just keep moving along. Still seeing some lightning. It wasn't a bad storm that moved through, but there was a little bit of lightning with it. But not a lot. I mean, it's been windy all day, and actually the wind's died since that moved through. So cool. Yeah, but other than that, everything's going good. Truck's running good. We were home for a little bit. Just trying to get an idea of what's going on. But, we're out here just, nice thing is with it, again, I keep harping on it, and people are going to get tired of hearing it, but with the truck payment we have now and the insurance being as cheap as it is now, I can make do with less. So right now that's a good thing. Obviously I'm like anybody else. If I'm out here, I want to make money. But the stress of not having that big payment, it's a big difference for me, because I fixate on those things. And like I was telling the wife today, driving up here, I hadn't found a load for delivering this load. And normally in the other truck, I'd be, pulling my hair out. But I wasn't. And when I got parked, I found another load. It's not a big load. It's short miles, quick run. But it's going to keep adding dollars to the settlement. So, and then there's where we're delivering to. There's quite a bit available in that area. But short runs generally pay better. The run we're picking up after this one's paying pretty decent. So for the miles that it is, so I might end up just doing a couple more of those this week, just short run stuff. Was gonna grab a load going to Texas, but man, Texas is horrible right now. Just horrible. So I have no plans on going to Texas anytime soon. I don't mind going to Texas. I actually kind of like going to Texas, but man, what's coming out of there, it's bad. It's bad. Even with my costs being what they are now, there's no way in Hades I'm taking that stuff. But I was going to do a breakdown on what my costs are now. I can tell you offhand, my cost per mile, I used to average it off of 2,000 miles. I average it off of 1,500 miles, and my cost per mile are with everything. That's personal bills and this truck, and a guesstimate on some fuel. I'm looking at about 79 cents a mile. So I can definitely live with that. So yeah, but stay tuned, hang on. I'm going to add the clip just for the parts that I use to install this inverter. When the weather gets better and I get a chance tomorrow, maybe I'll show you everything installed, just to kind of better explain, you know, the components that's going to show up in this little clip. But as always, I appreciate you taking the time. Be safe. We'll talk to you. All right, so what we have is the new 2,000 watt inverter that we bought. This is from Voltworks. One thing I found, they do have inverter install kits, which don't come with jack shit for the price. So I put together my own kit, and you know, some I could get at Home Depot, some I had to order online, but you know, it is what it is. So this is what I got so far. This is the inverter. These are the connectors that are going to go through the floor. Got them from Summit Racing. That is the part number if you decide you need those. It's the same part number, I believe, for both. It just, one says black and one says, let's see. Yep, same part number. You just have to specify one black, one red. Excuse me. Been dealing with allergies. There's the hole saw to put the hole in the floor. 2 holes. Self-tapping screws. Connectors for the earth ground, which, if I remember right, is right there. It's this little terminal right here. That way I can run a wire to the chassis, because you know these bodies are pretty much all aluminum. Drill bits for whatever I need them for. I bought these connectors, not sure if I'm going to need them, but you can actually insert the wire, and then it has a set screw to hold it in there. So I bought those just in case I needed them. Drill, wire ties for anything I might need. This is a temporary cover plate for the hole that they drilled, which is just a hole. And of course, 14 gauge wire. And again, that's for the small terminal that grounds the chassis of the inverter to the truck. Now to show you what they had going on down here. Nope, sorry, Bubba. All they did, as you can see, is they just drilled a hole and just put the wires through the floor. Yeah, that's... So what's been happening with all the miles driven, and yeah, I'm probably being a little over dramatic on this part, but if the truck's sitting still, idling, or even if the APU's idling, there's nothing to stop the fumes from accumulating up in the truck, because that is nothing but a hole. They didn't try to seal it. They didn't use a rubber grommet on it. You know, any way you look at it, to me, you're just taking an unnecessary risk to someone else's life to do things like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to lift the bunk and I'm going to drill my holes back in behind this panel for the cables, and then I will route those out through this little hole they got here, which I got to cut, and I'm going to bring the cables out here because they'll mount on this side. Yeah, so that's what I'm working towards right now. So I thought I'd get to that point, and I'll catch you up just as soon as I can.